Okay, Math 8, this is your homework help video for Monday. We are writing, it says write the slope-intercept form. Remember, equations that look like this, y equals mx plus b. This is the slope-intercept form, okay, where you're going to substitute these two letters. You're going to substitute this letter for the slope. This is your slope or your rate of change. And you're going to substitute this letter for the y-intercept or your starting amount. Oops, wait, so I spell it right. Okay, so we're going to write the equation. If they give you the slope or the m and they give you the y-intercept or the b, then all you're doing is just plugging it in. So I'm going to rewrite the slope-intercept form. This is what the equation should look like. And you're going to replace m with the slope. So this is y is equal to 5 over 2. Bring down the x, the slope is attached to x, plus 0. Or you don't need to write 0. Since it's 0, you could write it like this. Y is equal to 5 over 2x. Either or is okay. You don't need to write 0, okay? All right, so let's do this. This is m, this is b. So again, you're going to write it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You're going to replace the slope, or m, with this number, negative 7 over 2. You're going to replace the y-intercept, or b, with 3. So this gives you y equals a negative 7 over 2x, and your b is a positive 3. So you're going to put plus b, 3. If b is a negative 3, then you put minus 3. Like this b over here is negative 2, so you would put minus 2, okay? All right, so now let's look at the next section. It says find the slope and the y-intercept. So in order to find the slope, we can do a couple things. We can see what the rise over run is, what's the change in y over the change in x, okay? So we can subtract these two x's from each other and then subtract these two y's from each other. Just pick 2 points. So first step is to find the slope. Remember, m is the slope. The formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So let's pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this x and y and this x and y. Got 2 points. My first point, 0, 0, x1, first point, y1. This is my first point. The second point that I chose, x2, y2. So now on the top, my y2, this is my y. We got 2 minus is a part of the formula. Y1 is 0. On the bottom, we have x2, which is 1, minus 0 for x1. So this gives me 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So m is 2. Okay? So m is equal to 2. So now I'm going to do the second step. Step 2. I'm going to find b. Remember, you have to have an m and a b. So I'm going to find my y-intercept. Remember, b is the y-intercept. So look, in order to find the y-intercept, you use the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Use this form. You're going to plug in, you're going to pick one of these points. I'm going to choose 0, 0, because guess what? Why? Because 0 is easy to substitute, okay? So I'm going to choose 0, 0. So if I choose this 1 point, all I need is 1 point, because I only need is 1 x and 1 y. Y is 0. Bring down the equal. M we just found is 2. This is multiplication times x is 0. I could use any point. I'm still going to get the same answer regardless of what point I use. So this is going to be 0 is equal to, this is 2. I'm sorry, this is 0. That's gone, so I'm just left with b. Sorry. So b is 0. So then my equation, my last and final step, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to replace m with 2. So that's y is equal to 2, bring down the x, and b is 0. So that's plus 0. Or I could just write it as y is equal to 2x. I don't need to write the 0. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do number 2. Let's do the next one. All right, so we're going to do this again. Step 1 is to find the slope. Okay, step 1 is to find the slope. Pause real quickly. All right. Okay, y'all. So this first step, let me get my pencil back. This first step is to find the slope, okay? Step 1, same thing we did right here. We're going to find the slope. When you find the slope, or m, use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? Okay, so you're going to pick 2 good points from this table. I'm going to pick the first 2 again, okay? Pick those 2. So my first point, 0, comma, 3.5, and 1, comma, 4.5. Okay, first point, x1, y1. Second point, x2, y2. So on the top, I'm subtracting 4.5 minus 3.5. 4.5 minus 3.5. On the bottom, x, I'm subtracting 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0. So on the top, that gives me 1. And on the bottom, that gives me 1. So my m is 1. Okay? My second step. So I found slope. My second step is to find b. Okay? So step 2, find b. You use the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Okay? So you're going to pick. I'm going to pick the easiest point. I'm going to pick this one right here. 0, comma, 3.5. So if I'm choosing that point, my x is going to be 0 and my y is 3.5. So I'm going to plug in 3.5 for y. And it doesn't matter which point I use. I'm going to use the easiest one. My m is 1. The operation between m and x is times. My x is 0 plus b. So 1 times 0 is going to be 0. And so I'm left with b over here. So 3.5 is equal to b, or b is equal to 3.5. So my last step, step 3, I'm going to write my equation in slope-intercept form by substituting m. My m again is 1. X. My b is a positive 3.5. And this is my answer. Or it's automatically a 1 in front of any variable, so it's not necessary to write the 1 in front of the x. So you can go either way, okay? Oops, sorry. Can't see that. I'm sorry, y'all. You can go either way. I substitute 1 in the place of m, and I substitute 3.5 in the place of b. Remember, it's automatically a 1 in front of any variable. If you don't see a number there, it's automatically 1 anyway. So it's not necessary to write the 1. Okay? All right, at the bottom, you're finding the slope. You're finding the slope first. You're going to do the same steps. Find the slope. This time, just use rise over run. So pick 2 good points you can read. Remember we talked about that? I can read this point right here, and I can also read this point right here. It's in an intersection, okay? So I can read the ordered pair. Don't choose a point where I cannot read the ordered pair. So now I'm going to count rise over run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 4 on the top. That's my slope. And positive 1 on the bottom. So my slope is 4. My b is going to be where the line crosses the y-axis. It crosses right here. So this is my b. This is positive 1. Okay? So my equation that I write in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, I'm going to replace m with 4, bring down the x, and I'm going to replace b with a positive 1. This is my equation. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one, okay? All right, y'all. Have a good one.